Come on in the room. Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We are going into the last week of the year, or I'm sorry, of the month, if you can believe it. Um, it is that time. So, you know what to do when you come in the room. Go ahead and say hello. Let me know who's joining. Say hello. If you're watching this in the replay, I still would love to know that you're catching me in the replay. So go ahead and type replay and share. Share. I do have a YouTube channel and have had one since the beginning, actually. And I need to put that out there. I don't advertise that as much because with the changes of Facebook, videos only stay up for 30 days. And then after 30 days, they take them down. But I do have a YouTube channel that I am growing as well. But I'll get better about all of that good stuff. But come on in the room. If you are first time, just say first time. Would love to know if you're joining me for the first time. Hey, Miss Beverly, how are you doing? Um, let's see if you are in any part of this wonderful world, this um nation. You are cold, it's bitterly cold, and probably dealing with snow. I got out today and did shoveled out my driveway, and I don't know if I meant to run back in the house and get a ruler. I think we were somewhere around 10. If I had to guess, we had about 10 inches of snow. So that was a joy to shovel. I'm getting too old to be shoveling. My body ain't what it used to be. But nevertheless, I got it done because tomorrow is a work day and got to go to work. Got to go to work. So, this is the last week of January. We are 1 month into the new year. And so we started out the month talking about where are you going? Do you know where you're going in 2026? Before you set a goal, before you do anything, do you know where you want to be in 2026? Come on in the room, say hello when you get in. And so that's what we've been talking about the last 3 weeks. We've been talking about where are you going. The first week was just setting the foundation. Then the second week we talked about clarity, and in getting clarity, you had to be honest. You can't have clarity without being honest about where you are, right? And then last week we talked about who are you becoming? Who is this person that you are becoming? Because that's an important question. Because how can you, um, while you're trying to set goals and reach new heights and new places, you need to evaluate who you are. And who you are today may not be the person that can sustain you on where you're going. So that was what we've been talking about the last 3 weeks. But tonight, say tonight, tonight we are going to talk about direction. It's important to know direction and choosing direction on purpose. So it's one thing to have direction, it's another thing to make a conscious decision to choose that direction every single day. So that's what we're going to talk about. So you always know, hey, Miss Andrea, you always know we start out with a question. So the question is, what does intentional direction actually look like in your everyday life? What does direction look like? And not just any old direction, intentional direction. What does that look like in your everyday life? So let's talk about what direction is, and what it isn't. Direction is not a feel; it's a decision. Let me say it for the people in the back. Direction is not a feeling, but it's a decision. Direction is not an event. Direction is a practice. So, once we have clarity and our identity is established, remember, clarity, identity, then the work becomes practical, sustainable, and intentional. So once you get clear on where you're going, once you get clear on who you are, once those things have been established, now the work becomes practical, sustainable, and intentional. Direction is something that is chosen daily, it's not declared one time. So every day, you're deciding again and again and again. You are deciding to let alignment be your guide. So it will guide your decisions, instead of convenience, urgency, or fear. You'll be guided by direction. Direction isn't about certainty, it's about commitment. Say that out loud. Direction isn't about being certain, it isn't about certainty, but it's about commitment. It's something that you are going to choose day in and day out, over and over. You don't accidentally end up being aligned. You choose it repeatedly. Okay? What do y'all think? Let's get into it. All right. Point one, direction is a series of small, aligned decisions. Direction is a series of small, aligned decisions. But the problem is, many of us wait for confidence, for motivation, and perfect timing. Does that sound like you? I know it sounds like me. Oh, I can't get going. I can't get started until everything's perfect. Until I've got to get motivated to get going. I've got to be confident. Hey, Miss Wallace, I've got to be confident before I get going. But guess what? If you're waiting on all of those things, if you're waiting on all of those things, you're never going to get going. You're never going to get started. But direction is built through consistency. You got to just start, and you've got to be consistent. So, what does consistency look like, or what would it sound like? It's saying no when it would be easier to say yes. hmm It's choosing rest instead of burnout. It's speaking honestly instead of keeping peace. I probably need to say that last one again. It's speaking honestly instead of speaking peace. Many people choose, or many people delay choosing direction, because they're waiting to feel sure. So we need to reframe this belief, because is anybody ever sure about anything? I mean, seriously, is any one of you ever 100% sure about anything that you move out to do? But we need to reframe this belief of needing to be sure. And it goes like this: certainty follows commitment. Certainty or confidence grows through action. The more you do a thing, the more confident you will become. But if you're waiting to get confident before you move out, 9 times out of 10, that confidence is never going to come, because you got to just jump. You got to take the leap of faith and move out. And then clarity sharpens through movement with intention. The more you move in the right direction, the more clarity is going to come. You don't follow direction, you practice it. Direction is not something that you follow. And that's a new way of thinking, isn't it? Because we've always been taught to follow directions, follow directions. But direction, as it relates to your goals and where you want to go, it's about practicing those things. You don't need to know every step. I will speak for myself. I am one that wants to know, when I take the next step, what's coming after that. And that has kept me from taking the first step. Because oftentimes, not just sometimes, oftentimes we are not going to know what the next step is until we take the first step. And that's faith. That's moving in faith. You need to know what you're saying yes to and what you are no longer available for. The first step is just knowing, what am I going to say yes to? What do I need to say yes to get going, to get moving? And wherever there is a yes, wherever you're saying yes, there's got to be a no, because you're saying no to something else. So I want us, not just you, I want us to stop outsourcing our decisions to circumstances or other people. I know. Y'all been quiet on me the last 3 weeks. The first week I was getting rah-rahs and boom booms and all the things. But these last 3 weeks, y'all have been real quiet on me. But I'm gonna give y'all a pass. So next, choose a directional filter, not just goals. What does that mean? Instead of a long goal list, how about getting a directional anchor? What is a directional anchor? It could be a word, it could be a value, it could be a posture. So, my directional anchor for 2026 is intentional. That's my anchor. That's my directional anchor. Everything, it is my goal. It is the goal of everything that I do in 2026 is anchored in intention. Hey, Miss Claudia, I have to stop being fearful and step out on faith. Yep, you do. So you can move forward, so you can get to the end results. But you're not by yourself. I think there are some of us that are right there with you. So my directional anchor word for 2026 is intentional. I plan to be intentional in every word that I speak, in everything that I say yes to, with my time. Um, my anchor word is intentional. Um, Other words could be aligned, grounded, free, disciplined. So when you choose, instead of choosing goal, instead of making this long list of goals, What if you chose a directional anchor and everything you did flowed out of that? Because sometimes when we create a lot of goals, and goals are required, we need goals. Goals are like um just pathways, right? They're steps. Goals are steps in getting to a main thing. But what if we went a little broader instead of narrower, and we had an anchor, a directional anchor? And then it would the questions would sound like this, or you would ask yourself these things. Does this align with my direction? Does this thing pull me forward, or does it drain me? And is this necessary, or is it just familiar? And if you begin to ask yourselves those questions as you're moving about 2026, trying to hit the goal or trying to hit the thing, then that would help keep you on the right path. It would help you stay aligned with the direction that you're trying to go to. So, those three things again: does this thing align with my direction? Does this thing that I need to make a decision about, is it pulling me forward, or is it draining me? Or is it necessary? And this is a big one. Or is it familiar? Because a lot of things that we do, are they necessary? Is it required for me to get to the end result? Or is it just familiar? And because it's familiar, I'm going to do that thing because it's familiar. But is it getting me where I need to go? Is it creating habits or a rhythm or a routine within me that is profitable to me? Not necessarily, and when I say profitable, I don't mean monetarily, but is it in alignment with where I need to go? Because sometimes we're doing things that we talked about this, I think, last week. We talked to sometimes we're doing things that we need to let go, but we can't let them go because they're comfortable, or they're easy, or I've always done it like that way. But just because it's familiar, it doesn't mean that it's necessary. And that those are the things that we need to evaluate. We need to start evaluating um, familiarity and being comfortable versus, is it something that I need to do? Is it necessary? Right? Direction also is not just about major life decisions. It shows up in how you start your day. How quickly are you saying yes? What are you allowing to interrupt your peace? How are you speaking to yourself under pressure? Big direction is built through small alignment. Hey, Auntie Millie. Big, big direction is built through small alignment. So where are you compromising? Where are you compromising? Are you compromising? And if so, where are you compromising? Why and why? Ask yourself, why? Why are you compromising? Hello there, Miss Patrice. All right. Moving right along. Direction clarifies boundaries. Boundaries are not restrictions. I know we talked about this last week. Boundaries are not restrictions, but boundaries are guardrails. Direction gives boundaries purpose. Ah, we got to get this. Direction gives boundaries purpose. what gets the best energy. What gets your best energy? You got to have boundaries. What gets not right now? Again, what are we saying yes to? And if we're saying yes to it, do we need to be saying yes to it? Are we just saying yes because it's easy? And what no longer gets access? And these are tough questions. These are tough questions because not everything that is requesting access to you, it's not bad. It may not even be negative. It's not negative. But is it something that needs your energy in this season or right now? When you know where you're going, boundaries stop feeling harsh and start feeling wise. For whatever reason, boundaries, that word has a bad rap. People get all discombobulated, they get all tight and tense about boundaries because it has such a negative connotation. But it shouldn't at all. Boundaries are just guardrails to direction. I like that. All right. Direction requires course correction, not perfection. For all of us perfectionists out there, direction requires course correction. It requires us to recalibrate sometimes. And so what is recalibrate? It means it's measuring something, or it's measuring something up against a standard. And if it's off, if it's out of alignment, then it's recalibrating or bringing it back into realignment based upon a standard. And so, sometimes along the way, sometimes as we go along in 2026, we are going to have to recalibrate our steps. We are going to have to recalibrate what it is that we're doing, the direction in that we're going. And so it's not a negative thing, that's a good thing. Just because you start out in a way and somewhere the path, you get off the path, you don't stay off the path, you recalibrate and you get back on the path. You get back on the going in the right direction. So direction allows for recalibration. Awareness enables adjustment. We've got to be aware. We've got to be self aware. We've got to be aware of our surroundings. We've got to be aware of the direction in which we're going. And when we're aware, it's much quicker, it's much easier to recalibrate when things feel off, when we get sidetracked. How many times have you started out on a path going in one direction and you got sidetracked? Life is always throwing curveballs and things to get you off course, but you don't have to stay off course, just recalibrate. Growth is not linear, meaning it is not just a straight line. Growth is up and down and all around. It's zigzaggy, it's not straight. And that's okay. Don't abandon direction because you drift, return to it. It really is that simple. It really is that simple. We don't need to stay drifting. We can stop, we can pause, we can redirect, and we can return to the direction that has been assigned to us. We can come back into alignment. And accountability. Let me see. Oh, no, before I go there, let me stop. Let me stop here. Boundaries become non negotiable when direction is clear. Boundaries are the practical expression of direction. So without direction, boundaries might feel selfish. You don't know which way you're going and you're just out going anywhere doing anything, and then you want to implement boundaries, it might feel like you're being selfish. But with thank you, Auntie Millie. But with direction, boundaries feel necessary. If you know what it is that you are trying to accomplish and what it is you are trying to do, you are set. You know the end game. Boundaries are going to be necessary. You are not going to get there without having boundaries, because boundaries are going to keep the main thing the main thing. It's that simple. For example, protecting time. If you are setting out and you're clear about where you're going, you have got to protect your time. Time wasters, time stealers are the biggest derailers of individuals reaching their goal, staying in the right alignment. Limiting access. We have got to learn how to say no to some people, some places, some things. What accesses you? It's not, again, it's not that the people, the places, or the things are bad. They're just not in alignment of where you are trying to go. And when you don't have those guardrails in place, when you don't have those boundaries in place, then you're always hopping on and hopping off the trail, and you're losing time. You're wasting time. And that is what is derailing you. It's because you think that you don't need boundaries. The boundaries are protecting, or they are the guardrails of the direction. And this is a big one. Saying no without explanation. Oh. Why is it that we are so, I know what it is, you're just uncomfortable with saying no. And so when you say no, then you feel like you've got to explain your no. No is a whole, it's a whole word and it's a whole sentence. A whole period can come after the no. N-O period dot. But there's something, that this guilt that comes over us when we say no. And then we feel like it a long explanation. I've got to explain why I said no. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop it. No means no. And it's okay. Guess what? I want you to just stop. Pull out a mirror or look at yourself in the screen. I want to tell you something. Lean in. You a whole adult. A whole adult. And you don't have to explain your actions not one time, because you're a whole adult. Take a deep breath, take it in, sit with it. You're a whole adult. And it's okay to say no. It really is. No is required. Guess what? No is in our vocabulary. So if no is in the vocabulary, it is meant to be used at one point and one time. Direction requires letting go of a familiar comfort. So this is a theme, right? Last week we talked about um, comfortable and letting go of things that feel comfortable. So this may include old habits. Ooh, y'all lean in, lean in. Familiar chaos. Are there some of you out there that live and thrive in chaos? And if you don't have a chaos, if you don't have a lot of noise, if you don't have a lot of activity, if you don't have a lot of movement, you feel like life just isn't right. Is that anybody out there? It's time to let go of familiar chaos. It's time to let it go. Often the hardest part of choosing direction is releasing what feels familiar. It's not knowing, some of us know which direction we need to go in. We're very clear. But what we haven't quite figured out, or what we're struggling with, is releasing what feels familiar. And sometimes it's old habits, sometimes it's familiar chaos, sometimes it's predictable disappointment, and sometimes it's roles that gave identity but no peace. Some of us are in roles that people have placed us in, because people are really good at placing us in their lives when they are trying to deal with their own chaos, or they don't know how to deal with their own chaos, and they want to pull you into it, and they want to make you be the director of their life. No, that's not your role, but people have inserted you in their chaos for you to manage their chaos. And because you don't know how to say no, you don't know, maybe it's a loved one, maybe it's a good girlfriend, I don't know. Maybe it's your children. But some of us are in roles in other people's lives that they have put us in, that we have willingly gone, because they don't know how to manage their chaos. Y'all are quiet, but that's okay. Some of us have some old habits that we need to let go. And please know, as you're navigating initially, you're not always going to get the no right away. You're not always going to get it right in the beginning, but the more you practice, because remember, direction, it's about saying yes to things consistently. It's a practice. A decision, remember, direction, it's a practice. It's saying and doing things little by little, day by day, that gets us to where we're trying to go. So sometimes the thing blocking your direction isn't resistance, it's just sheer comfort. So here's the question: what am I holding on to because it's familiar, not because it's aligned? And Not even that it's comfortable. It's just familiar. But I'm going to hold on to it. Hey, Miss Lisa, I'm going to hold on to it because it's what I know. It's comfortable. It's familiar. I can depend, even if it's a familiar disappointment. You've gotten so used to it, you can expect it. It's just something that's known to you, but you want to hold on to it because the fear of the unknown is greater than this thing that may not be the best for me, whether it's a habit, whether it's a connection, relationship, whatever. Holding on to it just feels safer because I know what to expect from it, even if it doesn't, uh, even if it's not anything good for me, good in return. I feel like, I don't know if y'all out there, I feel like I'm talking to the screen, but that's okay. That's okay. So, accountability begins with self trust. Being truly accountable or true accountability is internal before it's ever external. What does that mean? When you are accountable to you, it's good to have an accountability partner, but ultimately we need to be accountable to ourselves. I need to start showing up for me. I need to start being that dependable person for myself before, or just as I am as dependable or accountable to someone other than me. So, what does that look like? Check in weekly. Check in with yourself weekly. Have a self meeting. Have a Sherry meeting. Have a Lisa meeting. Have an Andrea meeting. Have a Claudia meeting. A Millie meeting. A Patrice meeting. A Tiffany meeting. Have set some time up every week to check in with you. With you. Reflect on how you're doing. It's not a time to judge. Quit judging you. You are a way harsher judge than you would be for anybody else. It's not about judgment. It's reflecting to see where you are and adjust with no shame. Make the pivot without beating yourself up about it. Just pivot. Make the adjustments where you need to and without shame. Direction strengthens when you trust yourself to respond honestly. When you can show up for yourself, when you can be accountable for you, when you realize that you are worth being accountable to yourself, then you're going to begin to be strengthened and you'll respond honestly. Sorry, that's my work. They're telling me something. Either I'm supposed to come to work tomorrow or stay at home. So yeah, start trusting you. Intentional direction is sustainable, it's not exhausting. Rest does not mean you lose momentum. It doesn't mean you lose momentum. Pauses allow perspective. It's okay to push the pause button. It's okay. We are human. We are not robots. We cannot run and run and run and run forever. We've got to stop. We've got to allow room for rest so we can recalibrate. We talked about recalibrating on the front end. Hopefully stay at home. I know, Miss Claudia, I hope that's what they're saying. Course correction is part of growth. I want us to keep that. Be very mindful of that. We don't have to keep going in the same direction and just because that's the direction that we're on. No. When we are able to rest, when we are able to recalibrate, then what we're saying is that we're course correcting for growth. You don't lose direction when you rest, you lose direction when you ignore yourself. Do I need to say it again? Yes. You don't lose direction when you rest. You lose direction when you ignore yourself. Resting allows you to regenerate. It allows you the opportunity to refuel and pivot. It allows you just to be able to stop and take a breath and then get back to it. So, the last thing we're going to talk about is where are you going? Who are you becoming? What direction are you going? And choosing that direction on purpose. Y'all, it is the last week of the month. The first month of January is about, or the first month of the new year is about to come to a close. And all this month, these last 3 weeks, we have just been asking the question, where are you going? What is 2026 going to look like for you? So, as we're sliding into the end of January, and you've been thinking about it all month, spiritually, naturally, physically, mentally, all those things, what you want it to look like for you in 2026. It all starts with the question, where are you going? What's the end result? What's the end goal? So this year, I'm not asking you to move faster. I'm asking you to move with intention. Be intentional. I want you to be honest about where you are right now. Remember, we talked about being honest about where you are? Because until you know where you are, that honest evaluation, you can't figure out what you need to change to get there. And I want you to be thoughtful about who you are becoming. And finally, choose direction on purpose, one decision at a time. It's one decision at a time. One decision at a time. And if we keep that in mind, that it's just, I only have to make one choice, the choice that is in front of me right now. You don't need a whole map, Sherry. You don't need to see the big picture. You don't need to see all the things before you move. You just need enough clarity to take the next aligned step. Let me say that again. You and I just need enough clarity to take the next aligned step. Hey there, Elder Mobley. That's it. So can we say this? Can we release ourselves of this? Close your eyes and say it with me. I don't need to know every step. I just need to know the next aligned step. Release yourself of having to know everything. It's about alignment, and it's about the next decision in front of you that you make. Choosing direction on purpose does not require perfection. It requires honesty, it requires consistency, and it requires courage. Every aligned choice, no matter how small, is proof that you're already on your way. You're already on your way. One decision at a time, one aligned step after the next. That's it. That is it. So, Queens, we're a little short tonight. I'm gonna give you back a whole almost 15 minutes. But that's it. Where are you going? And choosing direction on purpose. Don't be afraid of the boundaries, because the boundaries are the guardrails that are protecting your direction. Stay warm. Have an amazing week. Be careful out there, and I will see you next Sunday, same time, same Queen channel. Talk to you later. Good night.